Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this incident with the Hong Kong protesters outside the consulate in Manchester. I'm absolutely sickened by all of these fake stories coming out and lies, manipulation. And this is typical of how British media works. They'll only show you one side of the story. So I'm going to show you both sides of the story, and I'll give you my opinions, and then you guys can make up your mind. So this guy came on the interview, and he's apparently a big movie star now, and he's going on interviews everywhere. I see him on all these news channels. He's meeting up with this very anti-Chinese guy called Ian Duncan Smith, who's been sanctioned by the Chinese government. And he's probably exaggerating. So listen what he says. He says he might die or something. He says, I was thinking I might die. So let's see what he says. What I'm also going to be showing you is the full video, what really happened outside the consulate. And I'm going to show you how violent, rude, and aggressive these Hong Kong protesters are. They weren't just rude against consulate staff, Chinese consulate staff. They were rude against Asians, Indians. There was a woman with a hijab, and one of them was telling her that he wants to F her mother or something. Absolutely sickening. Absolutely sickening. So wait till the end of the video. I'm going to show you the full clip. But before that, I'm going to go for this.
So this is consulate staff
Yeah,
who, inside the Chinese consulate, on their grounds,
yeah,
were punching and kicking you
yeah,
because you were protesting.
yes.
How does that make you feel?
Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Yeah. And actually, that moment, I was thinking that I might die inside.
I'm sorry, guys. I just find it absolutely hilarious. First of all, that is not true. And I'm not going to say why, but I'm just going to show you the full clip later on. And this contradicts everything that this reporter has said and what this guy has said. And today he came to London and he's having this massive press conference. And he's being treated like some sort of movie star. And look at this. Look at that. Look at all these reporters. Even Tom Cruise would be proud of this moment. So this is what really happened, guys. Now I want you to have a look at this consulate worker here on the top right. And you can see how clearly he's getting kicked to the head. And I don't know about you, but when you start getting kicked to the head, that could kill someone. That's a big danger. And this guy's got a few bruises in his face, and he's talking about he might die. But what about the Chinese consulate worker here who's been kicked to his head? Why is nobody talking about that? Do you see the double standards that's going on in this bloody country? Can you see the double standards? You know, that one guy is being made into a hero and the other guy is being kicked to death. Absolutely unbelievable. So I'm going to show you more double standards here. This is a group of Palestinians protesting outside the Israeli embassy. And guess what? The guy who protests outside the Israeli embassy gets arrested. And just because he's holding a Palestinian flag. Look at this.
British police arresting a Palestinian man, because he's holding Palestinian flag.
So can you see the double standards here? So when Hong Kongers protest outside the Manchester consulate, they're classed as freedom fighters, but when Palestinians do it, they get arrested. But there's more, guys. There's more. You know, wait till I show you the real truth.
Shocking, wasn't it? I mean, you have been someone who's been campaigning for a long time about the violence that is happening in China and in Hong Kong, but now we're seeing it on the streets in England.
Yeah, now that is the point. To have Bob come down from Manchester was really important, and for him to give his testimony. Bear in mind that he will be worried about the surveillance on him. and the threats that may follow, but he's been brave to come down, that's important. He was assaulted, dragged inside the consulate, and under the cameras, beaten up, his hair pulled, kicked, punched. I watched it for over a minute. They laid into him. These are all officials, they're all official diplomats, and they're here by permission of the United Kingdom government. So when we hold the press conference, we wanted the whole of the UK and the world, if possible, to see this man, who is nothing more or less than a young man protesting against the loss of their freedoms in Hong Kong, and this is the treatment that he got. And we believe that it's possible that the Consul General himself was involved in the attack. So with that all going, all I've asked for from the government is very simple. I want you to make it very clear that right now, what will... Should you want to stop this because this bloke's suddenly gone off? I apologize. So what I want from the government is very simple. I want the government to make it clear to the embassy, they should have called in the ambassador, and simply say to them, look, this is what's going to happen. Without fear or favor, whoever was involved in this attack will no longer be welcome here in the United Kingdom. Whether or not the police prosecute on criminal damage or assault, we're going to say to them, you're off. You're going back to China. You're persona non grata. That's really important. Just give them that very strong warning and then wait to find who's identified and then do it. Instead of which, we've got at the moment them saying, well, we will look at this carefully and take further action.
So this tomato of a guy, Ian Duncan Smith, who's been sanctioned by the Chinese government for being so anti-Chinese, he said he's seen the footage many times. He looked at that guy getting beaten up, apparently. What about the consulate guy getting his head kicked in? Did he look at that? Does he care about Chinese people getting their head kicked in? Or does he just care about Hong Kong people? And that female reporter, I mean, this is the problem with reporters these days. They are so biased. When it comes to China, they are so biased. Reporters have lost the skill of, talking about both sides of the story. I remember once back in the day, long time ago, reporters were just reporting facts. They weren't biased, but now they're completely biased. She's like, oh my God, this is so shocking. You have been campaigning against these Chinese, haven't you? Oh my God, this is absolutely shocking. Oh, yes, this is so bad. The violence in our streets caused by the CCP. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem of reporters in this country. And this is why media around the world, not only in England, but USA as well, they're all brainwashed. Bunch of stooges. So this woman, she's like, oh, it's the Chinese who are bringing the violence. Guess what, love? Have you seen the violence these Hong Kong protesters did in Hong Kong, where they were beating up, ordinary people in the streets, beating up police officers, causing mass mayhem, damage? These are the protesters now coming into UK, and those are the ones you need to worry about. Bloody hell.
That this is going to be perhaps more of a growing issue unless the government clamp down on it.
Well, it's exactly the case. I, for one, amongst 7 parliamentarians, 2 in the House of Lords, 5 in the Commons, have been sanctioned by the Chinese government. So we risk being extradited if we go to a country that has extradition treaties with them. I have attacks from members of the Chinese security services on my computer, people impersonating me. They already do a lot of this outreach to get at people who criticize them. And then you add to that those who have faced violence, incarceration in Hong Kong, who have fled here for safety. This is now happening everywhere. Their long arm of China is reaching out to every country that these people go to. And we should not stand for that. We should not allow it. We should tell them, if you do any more of this, we are simply going to shut the embassy. We will not have any more to do with you. And we've got to stop buying products made by slave labor in Xinjiang, the abusive way in which they've got all these poor men thousands of miles away from their homes, making things which are cheaper, and they're sold over here, and we turn a blind eye to that. All this stuff has got to stop.
All right, Mr. Duncan Smith. Can somebody remind Mr. Duncan Smith that 90% of the products he uses at home is probably made in China? So here he is advocating not to use Chinese goods. Well, he's probably using most of the stuff himself. So now I'm going to show you the full clip of exactly what really happened. And you can see how rude, aggressive these Hong Kong protesters are. They are literally attacking and insulting, abusing anyone they can see. This woman here, you can see with the hijab on, they were abusing her. This Indian guy actually, I owe an apology, because when I first saw the footage, I saw him throwing around Chinese people and Hong Kong people around. So I was thinking, why is he getting involved? But now I realize he's part of the security team, and he's obviously working for her, and he's trying to protect this consulate or in this embassy. So apologies goes to this guy, but I'm going to show you exactly what really happened.
Excuse me, I beg your pardon.
Talk to the police, please.
Watch what you are saying. Watch it, bro. What you are saying.
Watch your mouth. What you said, you think you better watch.
What you said to the lady.
We understand.
What you said to the
We have
lady.
left the passage for the pedestrian.
Ask your boss.
What's the problem?
To fuck off. Are you stupid?
No.
Are you stupid?
This category
Why-
should be
why-
enough
we
for
are-
I think-
right?
This is a
Enough
vanilla
right?
sidewalk.
Yeah.
You have no
You have left the passage for the pedestrian.
You can see here clearly these Hong Kong guys are now swearing at that girl, swearing at that Indian guy, for no apparent reason, being aggressive, being rude, being abusive. So these are the type of people that the British media is trying to protect.
Why you are
I'm telling you.
And this is the stuff that Sky News is not going to show, BBC is not going to show.
Now why?
I'm telling you as well.
Don't worry. You just protect
Let's be
All
serious.
we just told you why she is abusing my colleague. Who the hell is he?
No, this is
tell you?
this is just a building,
We
right?
didn't scare you. What are you
No,
talking
no, no,
about?
no, no.
You?
Yeah, who the hell are you?
Okay.
I think fucking your mother.
what's the
I'm
problem?
telling you
Excuse me, I
so
beg your
sorry.
pardon,
Yeah.
you
I know.
what? You're not allowed to record.
Yeah, I know.
So can you hear what he said? The fact that that guy said he's going to F her mother or something. So can you see the kind of language he's using? Unbelievable.
It's
But I
your
just tell
right,
you
but you
the-
can't
I just
abuse
tell-
anyone now.
Yeah, I know. I just tell you the story.
Do any
Yeah.
confrontation, but it seems that we never come to any argument.
No.
So just let us know what we can do.
What you can do, okay?
Yeah.
I'll fully let you. Nothing touches any of the fences.
Okay, nothing touch.
Nothing
okay.
touches
okay,
at all.
That's good.
The space has to be here big enough to get
Okay.
a pram or a wheelchair through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We have left
No,
the passage
yeah,
for
no,
pedestrian. All right.
I'm absolutely fine with that.
Okay.
Ideally, we would like the majority of people on that side of the
Yeah,
road,
yeah,
so
we
everyone's
just-
together.
that's all.
And obviously, the street is really busy because
Okay.
the university and the college
Yeah, I
have got an open day.
understand.
So
Okay.
as long as the roads are
So are you
clear.
happy with the arrangement?
Yeah,
Yes,
whatever
okay,
he said,
okay.
I'm
So we
fine.
don't need to argue. So we just stay over there.
So now we're coming up to the part where the actual incident happens.
發表一啲論述，希望可以獲得更多嘅支持，以及影響更加多嘅人。動機同埋目標都好簡單，無論政治家、科學家、醫生、律師、文職、司機。
And you can see how these Hong Kongers are going in there to basically start a fight. And all these consulate guys were taking down these insulting Xi Jinping posters. That's all they were doing. And these protesters are going in there and looking to start a fight. And you can see the consulate guy on the floor getting his head kicked in. Unbelievable.
現場咧，咁有解放軍人士出咗嚟嘅，你拉咗好似拉咗人咁，佢拉咗人咁，咁有解放軍人士。
And you've seen the rest. And you know, so this is the stuff that the BBC, Sky News, British media, US media, They're not going to show you any of this. But the fact is, these Hong Kong protesters were aggressive from the start. They were abusing that poor girl. They're abusing that Indian guy. They were going in there for a fight. They were blocking the road. And these are the people that the media is trying to protect the same way the same media is trying to protect Zelensky and his goons as well. It's the same thing. It's the kind of narrative that they want to show. They're not going to show the real truth. They're not going to show both sides of the story. They have one narrative, and the narrative is China evil. Everyone else is, they can do whatever they want. These Hong Kong protesters are like angels. They're like heroes. Same way with Ukraine. So I'll let you guys decide. Now you've seen the full footage, I'll let you guys decide who's in the right, who's in the wrong. That's all for me, guys. See you in the next video.